Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy Show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. We're back once again on Facebook Live. Glad you are with us. We're recording today, and the show will post on YouTube, and is always available on boinkstudios.com. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. Thanks for coming back. Everyone's clicking in and saying hello. Hi to everyone. Today is the special SummerSlam edition of the show. So this time the main event is SummerSlam 2018. The most boring title ever. Let's go ahead and get into that. We're going to do SummerSlam related questions. If everyone's okay with that, that's what we're going to roll with. We're going to try to cover every match in an hour, which is not going to be easy because the event's going to be like 12 hours or something, which I'm not complaining. I love as much pro wrestling as I can possibly get my hands on, so it's all good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Of course, SummerSlam is coming up Sunday, August 19th. That is just a few days away, depending upon when you decide to listen to this particular episode. Can you say my name, please? Is that Ian? What's up, Ian? Everyone wants to hear their name. The first time I saw my name attached to a column I wrote online, I was just like, it was a very cool moment for me. Since then, it's whatever. You get used to it. But sometimes I sit back and I'll look at my page on a certain website that I'm writing for or whatever. And I see all these columns sitting there. And it's like, it's a pretty cool deal. We're going to dive right in. People are already asking about Roman versus Brock. Let's get into this. Everyone wants to talk about it. No one wants to see it. Everyone wants to talk about it. Isn't that weird? Let's be honest. Roman ain't winning. Let's be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Brock walks away with the title. That's not a popular opinion, by the way. Not popular to anyone, let's just be honest. Hello from North Carolina. I too am am in North Carolina. So, welcome to the show. People are still pouring in and saying hello. I very much appreciate that. Roman and Brock. Throw me some Roman and Brock stuff. Someone asked, they just want to dive right in, get to it. I would be shocked if Roman and Brock didn't close the show. It's a terrible move. It's the wrong thing to do. But when has WWE ever took the time to give any of us a phone call or ask us what we think? I don't have any idea. But it's going to be interesting. No one wants to see the match. Everyone wants to talk about it. No one wants to see it. I wouldn't be shocked if Brock won and was the Universal Champion when he returned to UFC in January. I don't think it's good for the company. However, I'm not the guy crunching the numbers behind the laptop and looking at how much revenue is being generated by people wanting to see the perhaps a UFC and Universal Champion. I don't have any idea. Roman to win. There you go. Braun Strowman's the X Factor. No one's said anything about Braun yet, have they? Braun is the X Factor. And for people asking about what's behind me, those are some DVD sets. I decided to dress up the case to get a little bit of a background going. My next step is to get like a big pro wrestling themed flag or something. I don't have any idea. But that's the Ric Flair DVD, Legends of Mid-South, Starrcade, and Paul Heyman. It's a good selection. I got more in front of me. You can't see them because you're here and those are there. And for people listening to the audio version of the podcast, you're completely lost. So if you're lost, go to YouTube and check it out. How do you like that for a plug, huh? We can jump back on Roman and Brock anytime you want to. Brock versus Roman hype. Yeah, it's hype. Let's just deal with it. Braun Strowman's the X Factor. He's the one. It seems as though Braun Strowman is the next guy. However, at any given point, he's not the next guy. It's not that he's got 50-50 booking. Braun dominates, right? But whereas Brock is the guy right now, they think that, people think that Braun is the next guy. The proof's in the pudding, right? How come he's not had the title yet? Why did he ever just, he just cowboyed up to Brock but couldn't beat him? I don't know. I mean, they've kept Brock invincible except against Goldberg. Goldberg had his number for a very short time. Owens is going to win the briefcase. Nice segue. Owens is going to win the briefcase with help by Jinder and Baron Corbin. Okay, I can kind of see that. It gives them heat with Braun. I don't know what future there is in Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. I'm not hating on Baron. I don't dislike Baron at all. But it's just I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm feeling Baron Corbin. Not really his fault at the role he's been put in right now, but I just don't know if I'm feeling it. You know what I mean? Do I think Roman will win? No. Spoiler alert. If you don't like spoilers, do the earmuffs, okay? Do the earmuffs and do them hard. Because I got some spoilers. Possibly. Maybe I should have led with that. So you can tell your friends and family to tune in. I don't know. Card is subject to change. But the AT&T Center website is already advertising Hell in a Cell for September 16th. And they're already advertising Roman Reigns, and I want to say it's Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. Maybe that's wrong. But it doesn't say WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Now, that doesn't mean anything. Everyone relax, because what it could be nothing more than, card is subject to change. This is what they have right now. WWE can pull the plug or take any kind of direction, make any kind of moves at once in the time it takes them to do this. I don't have any idea. But right now, the AT&T Center's website is kind of giving some stuff away, man. It's giving away a lot more stuff, too, which we can get into later. Who's your pick? Can we just narrow this down? Because we can debate the pros and cons of Brock versus Roman and the good and bad of it all day long. Who's your picks? Give it to me. Give me a name, baby. Just a name. Roman or Brock, who you got? This is a tough one for me because I picked Roman at WrestleMania 34. Boy, was I wrong. I was watching this show with a friend of mine. I looked at him. I was like, oh, what? I mean, just, what? And then for him not to get at the greatest Royal Rumble event, but Roman's really the uncrowned champion. Stop with that nonsense. Whatever. But WWE had a couple of different opportunities, more than that, to give him the belt. Roman will win. Reigns will win. Roman, best way to go is Roman beats Brock. KO, Braun, cash in. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you get around that. I think it's going to happen. I picked Lesnar Owens. Great pick. I mean, and I'm not being facetious either. I'm just saying it's a great pick. Because what's the old mantra? Anybody but Roman, right? Wasn't it Bray that said that? Anybody but you, Roman, I think. Yeah. So the Roman Empire for the win. We got a Roman Reigns fan in the house. Hopefully, you guys know this is my third edition of the show on YouTube. I don't hate on anybody. I really don't. I have no reason to sit here and hate Roman or Brock or any of them, to be honest with you. I can sit here and critique their work and tell you what I think, but I'm not. It doesn't come from an area of personal bias or from an area of contempt for anyone. So I don't have any contempt toward Roman in the slightest. Dual championships for Brock Lesnar. It's entirely possible. My bird Bart says hello. Interesting. Hello to Bart the bird. That's a different one. That's a new one. I like that. I have a dog and a cat. My door is shut because, the cat will want to get on my lap and my dog will want to walk around the entire time and want me to pet him. And while I love my animals, they can be a bit distracting. And there's no boy here today. If you have noticed, there's no 9-year-old wandering the scenery, chewing it up, as it were. He's at the Sitters today so Daddy can get some work done. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. So what do we want to jump to next? Does Ambrose turn on Seth to give Zig the win? Okay, all right. Can we agree on this? Let's go from Brock and Roman to Seth and Dolph. I did write the piece recently. Go check it out, Wrestling Rumors. And I can't give you the exact headline because I didn't pull the column up in front of me. However, I always can, right? It's always entirely possible. But I wrote the column a couple of 2-3 days ago, speculating on Dean Ambrose possibly turning. Dean Ambrose to portray Seth Rollins at WWE SummerSlam. Question mark. Okay, back to the AT&T Center website. Sorry to give you another spoiler. And again, if you don't want to hear earmuffs, Ready? Okay. So AT&T Center website is advertising for Hell in a Cell September 16th. It's going to be Rollins and Ambrose teaming up against Drew McIntyre and the Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler. I'm sorry. I just, hey, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your boy may not be winning the title back at SummerSlam. I'm not giving you anything you can't look up yourself, man. It's right there in black and white. This is not some opinion from a pro wrestling writer. This is not some backstage information that only us are privy to. That's not it. It's right here, man. Google that crap. Don't do it yet. Watch the show. Then you can Google it later. But, yeah, so it's not breaking my heart that they're not going to continue. I know, yeah, no, it's not breaking my heart they're not going to continue to feud. That they are going to continue to feud. It's fine. They're having some first-class matches. First-class matches. They really are, both of them. And I like Drew a lot. Dean Ambrose adds a new flavor to the mix. And, in fact, this is the second column. Go to Wrestling Rumors. Spoiler on Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler Intercontinental title match at WWE SummerSlam. I just spoiled the crap out of it for you. My apologies. Thank you, Kyle. Kyle says, great show. Everyone be like Kyle. I'm kidding. I'm joking. We're trying to make everyone happy here. So thanks everyone for tuning in. The numbers just keep doing their thing. It's cool. So what did you think about Ambrose's return? How's about that? What did you think about Ambrose's return? Bring the Shield together. Roman's busy. Roman's got his hand full with 286 pounds. Well, he was. Listen, I'm not going to go there too much, but real back to the Beast Incarnate really fastly if we can. Did you notice when he came up on Raw and he came down and attacked Roman? Brock's done some slimming down. I'm not suggesting anything, but I will make this statement and let you do with it what you will. Brock Lesnar is in the 6-month drug testing phase to get back into UFC. And to me, I say the word slim, I don't mean skinny. I mean he's toning up. Now he's getting into fight shape. No one's going to dispute that. There's a difference between wrestling shape and fight shape. Fight shape is all about, fighting. It's about fighting the match. Wrestling shape is about showing your body. They both have a lot to do with cardio. Don't make any mistake about it. But I got to tell you, I noticed when Brock got in the ring, someone just said the S word. I'm not going to repeat it. I don't like to be the guy to make accusations. But all I'll say is that as soon as he got into the drug testing phase, it looks like his body's changing. I have nothing negative to say. It's not an indictment on him as a person or him, what he may or may not be doing in terms of supplements or anything else. I don't have any inside info. I don't know. It's just an observation, just throwing it out there to you. So he hasn't done anything since April. Well, that's true. It's true. So we kind of jumped. We're going to try to keep this thing as close as we possibly can. We went from Brock and Roman to Dolph and Seth. Yeah, no, I don't see Seth taking the title back. I see the match breaking down, and somehow it just ends up all wonky in the end. But I don't think anything major is going to happen. But that's just my point of view. I'm going to hit this one, then we're going to get to the next match. Will John Cena show up? I don't know. I don't know if there's a good way to get John back in. John's going to work Kevin at the big showdown thing that they're going to have in Australia, I think it is. John's only a phone call away. John can do whatever they need him to do whenever they need him to do it. But don't you get a little tired of the guy that's supposed to be the top babyface getting booed out of the building? I'm not saying John would get booed out of the building. John would get booed out of the building. It's a favorite pastime of fans all the world over. So Seth could win the belt and still have a tag match at Hell in a Cell. Didn't say he couldn't. The website is advertising Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre. But as I said earlier, the card is subject to change. Take that with a grain of salt. WWE is well aware that the arenas, the coliseums, the stadiums have to advertise the upcoming shows to get people to buy tickets. People want to know what they're going to go pay to see. So obviously it's going to be there. So, yeah, you may be right. Maybe it will change hands after all. So, how about a topic that's fun to talk about and everyone's looking forward to it? Can we do that? Yes? WWE Champion AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. Can we talk about that? Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. I am very much looking forward to this. I don't care for the drama that they're laying out, where he read a note from, was it a note from AJ's wife or some such nonsense? Whatever. That's WWE putting their own little stupid spin on it. And, it's a harsh word, stupid, but it is what it is. Yeah, okay, thanks. Build-up has been awful. Yeah, for real. You know what the great part about Joe versus... You see how excited I am? Tom's animated, yes? The great part about Joe versus AJ, you don't need a lot of build-up, man. This is an old-school NWA feud. This is an old-school NWA rivalry. You don't need a whole ton of build-up in order to get people to buy tickets. It's like Dusty versus Rick. All you got to do is say Dusty versus Rick. You sell the place out. To me, AJ versus Joe, sell the place out. It's just me. I don't think you need a ton of build-up. Well, with Tom, we have to do the vignettes and we have to do whatever. No, you don't. Just put those two guys on the bill. They'll do all the work. They'll do all the work. People talk about New Japan. Don't get off on New Japan. It's just, we can talk about it later if you want to. Whatever. But that's the beauty of New Japan. They don't do a lot of build-up. Very little. They'll do some, but they're telling the story in the ring. That's what AJ and Joe are going to do at SummerSlam. I'd love to see AJ and Joe go on last. I don't think they will, but I'd love to see it happen. Samoa Joe will win. Maybe. Or maybe you should check out AT&TCenter.com. Don't hate on me. Card subject to change. Everyone relax. I'm just saying. I'm spoiling it for everybody. People are going to hate me after this. It's okay. I've had heat before. I'm sure I'll continue to have heat no matter what I do, right or wrong. So it's cool. I would love to see Joe with the championship. I want you to take a sec. And, it's a matter of your boy here getting where he needs to go. On the website to throw a few facts at you. This is some good stuff. I want you to think about this, okay? AJ Styles is not only a two-time WWE champion, he's a two-time TNA World Champion, a three-time NWA World Champion, and a two-time IWGP Champion in New Japan. That's some hardware hanging on the wall, right? That's what you call highly decorated. I mean, the groundwork has been laid, okay? He and Joe, every time they touch, it's magic. I mean, essentially, AJ and Nakamura had one match in New Japan. But, Justin, what's up? But, everyone tell Justin hi. Everyone have manners. As my great-grandmother used to say, you guys be purty. You play purty together. I don't know what that even meant. But the stage has been set, man. Joe's ready to roll. He and AJ together, shut up. I mean, they have a history of great rivalry behind them. So yeah, it's going to be epic. I'm looking forward to it. I think, honestly, I would not be surprised if it stole the show, which is not going to be easy. Big Show coming back anytime soon. I've not heard anything, Ryan. Not heard a thing. Everyone was talking about, I think it was last year, around early last year, talking about Big Show's contract is up. It's up. He's gone. He's done. It's up. He's gone. It's done. Meanwhile, I had him on my show, and Big Show's like, yeah, my contract is up in 2018. Do with that what you will. I'm just saying, everyone and their brother believed it was right then, and it wasn't. So it's whatever. Big Show's, I don't know if he's really in the role of the goodwill ambassador for the company at this point. But who cares about Big Show? Hey, Dave, man, I appreciate your opinion, but Big Show's a veteran, man. Big Show's been through a lot of wars. He's changed his body. He's withstood the test of time. He's still kicking. He's still physically active. He's healthy. Probably more so for the first time in his entire life, maybe, since he was a younger man. I mean, he's come a heck of a long way. I mean, if the comment comes from, hey, I don't care about him in the ring, I totally understand. They screwed up his character for a lot of years. His booking was atrocious. I think we can all agree on that one, right? But I got nothing for love but Big Show. And a great guy, by the way. Great guy, amazing sense of humor, great to be around. Just, he talked to me like we'd known each other for years. Very cool. So, there you are. Anyone else with AJ and Joe? Anything you want to talk about, guys? So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We can always throw back on it when you want to. Let's switch gears. We're going down the list. This is fun, right? What's bad is you end the list with, the kickoff matches. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. So let's go to another headlining match. It's like WrestleMania where they say, there's 4 main events. No, there's not. The main event goes on last. Stop. The main event is last. Okay? Last. Jeez. All right, let's get to the next big headlining match. Alexa Bliss. Remember Alexa Bliss? Little tiny Alexa Bliss? She's like 3 feet tall. The Raw Women's Champion. I'm playing. Relax. Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss versus the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey. We've already had the baddest man on the planet with Mike Tyson. The baddest woman. I'm waiting for like the baddest cruiserweight, the baddest tag team. I don't know. I think we're just going to keep on doing that, I suppose. What are your feelings on Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss? How do you think that's been? Bliss will win, says Steven. I don't think Ronda gets the belt. I got nothing on the inside for you on this. However, I will say this much. Bliss has been protected, not in terms of the actual performer. I'm talking about the character. Bliss is protected because Bliss in a one-on-one match with Ronda, with all things being down the middle, with all things being fair eye to eye, is going to get killed by Ronda Rousey. Killed. Now, that's nothing to discredit what Alexa has accomplished. It's nothing to discredit her as a performer. I'm not suggesting that. I'm talking about character. So everyone keep that in mind. We're talking about character, okay? Not the real person. Character. She wouldn't be able to, lace Ronda's boots. So it's been smart booking in the way this thing has rolled along, in which Alexa's just short of getting, her head ripped off. Someone's been there to have her back, whether it's Mickie James or Alicia Fox. It seems like, Alexa Bliss has some kind of weird hold on the women in WWE where she can just manipulate them into doing whatever she wants, which is very odd to me. I don't get that. Women that you ordinarily would have trusted and said, well, they would never do that. And all of a sudden, they're Alexa's BFF. Is that still a thing, the BFF? I don't know, man. Perhaps. But I don't know how I feel about this. I think that I'll put it to you this way. Let me throw this at you, and then you can backtrack and tell me what you think about Ronda and Alexa. I think WrestleMania 35's main event is going to be SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair versus Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. And I think you could take that guess. You could take any number of guesses and be right. But I do believe they're both going to main event WrestleMania 35. And when I say main event, I'm talking about the last match. There are 4 main events. No, there's 1 main event. Sorry, it's the last match. So that's what I think. So you can take that. You can take that. Take from that what you want. I think Ronda's done well. Ronda scares me still at times, and we can cover this a little bit and move on to the next thing if you want. People still talking about Brock and Roman. Wow. I think Ronda will win. What do you think? Well, Kyle, brother, that's the topic, isn't it? Ronda still scares me because, and I know she's had training, so don't anyone get upset. I know she's had training. I know she's ready for this. I know she's looked good in the ring. I get all that. But man, when she went after Alicia, I thought, you need to slow down. Here's the problem. I don't want to say problem. They know what they're doing. They don't need someone like me telling them what to do. They got this, I'm sure. But the number one thing that I saw when I was in the business, okay, on the very small level that I enjoyed, that I had fun at, by the way, had a blast. The number one thing that I always heard and always saw in the ring, especially from the trainers, because I was around for those sessions, was guys saying, dude, you got to slow down. Slow down. Be easy. Take your time. Because that's where the trouble comes in. Remember the night that Brock tagged Braun on the side of the head? Boom. Because Braun was going a little fast for him. That's Brock's way of giving him a receipt and saying, okay, slow down now. Easy. Easy does it, big fella. So, yeah, I think Ronda has the potential. And I'm not throwing hate at her and saying that she's going to be a professional. I think Ronda could potentially hurt herself or hurt someone else and not even mean to. But the adrenaline gets pumping. And that's what scares me a little bit. She's in great shape. She looks good in the ring. She needs new gear. And I don't want to say anything that sounds, unprofessional or whatever. She needs some new gear because she's constantly adjusting her gear. She needs something that fits and that is comfortable and stays in place. And I don't think that's being, I don't know what word you want to pick, but I don't think that's being bad or negative in the slightest. I think she needs something that's actually going to work for her. Ronda joins NWO. What NWO? There's no NWO. People are fascinated with NWO. We covered this last time, and I got a little bit of hate for it, but it's all good. It's all good. Ronda versus Asuka. Where in the world is Asuka? That's the next big thing. She's hanging out with Carmen Sandiego. I don't know. That's a whole mess in and of itself. We could talk about it a later time. But Alexa needs to actually out-wrestle Ronda. Every great champion needs a submission hold. Alexa can't out-wrestle Ronda. Not going to happen. In a cooperative effort with the odds being a little in Alexa's favor, yeah, absolutely. And you're right, Alexa needs a great finishing hold. I can't argue that at all. And there's some interesting stuff going on in NXT right now on Sidebar if we can. Kairi Sane, right, was doing her thing on NXT. And it was just really good stuff. It was really good stuff. You got to go check that out. And talk about having a hold, having a submission hold that you can do. Kairi Sane is viewed as like the high flyer. She's cute, that kind of thing. But she's going to work Shayna Baszler, who's an NXT Women's Champion. And Shayna's like Ronda Rousey that woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's really upset at something. She hates somebody. We're not sure who she's mad at, but she's mad at somebody. Okay? So, Kari's like changing her game up a little bit in order to match the intensity that Shayna Baszler has. We've not seen that from Alexa because Alexa's a heel. Alexa's a coward because she's a heel. Most heels are cowards. You guys know that, right? Braun fears Rousey. That's good stuff, man. I like that. I like that a lot. So, let's get back to what we're talking about. I think we touched on Bliss versus Rousey. The hour goes by fast, man. I'm going to tell you right now. And again, we're covering like 6.5 hours worth of material in an hour, which is insane. Let's go on down the line. Strowman versus Owens. A lot of people have already chimed in and said they think that Owens is going to win the briefcase by hook or by crook. And you can definitely be sure it will be by crook. Because Ron is taking that belt. WWE didn't sign the biggest female box office draw in history to not put. Okay, I see where you're going with that. Makes sense. Makes sense. I still say there's a world in which, somehow she's screwed out of the title, or that she wins now and then takes the belt to WrestleMania 35. That's my feelings on it. But what do you think about Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens? No way Kevin Owens wins the briefcase. I'm kind of with Dave on this one. But I'm also of the mindset that if Owens wins, he's going to get some help. He's going to get some serious help. He's going to have some serious help. I like Owens. I do. You know something bad's coming, don't you? It's not necessarily anything bad. I like Owens. Owens is as entertaining as they come on the mic. As entertaining as they come on the mic. I cannot argue that at all. I like Owens in the ring. I don't know if I've seen Owens progress the way other guys have progressed. Do you know what I'm saying? Like with Seth, you can see a progression. You can see where he's went from point A to point B and all the improvements on his game that he's made in between. I don't know if I see that with Kevin. You can even argue and say that you've seen it with Braun. That Braun is coming to his own now. Kevin kind of feels like the same guy today as he was when he got there too, when he got there to begin with. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't have any idea. But to me, sometimes it seems a bit weak. And I don't want to be too judgmental because, again, Kevin Owens is a heel and heels are supposed to be cowards. So you got to keep that kind of stuff in mind, right? But I see Braun winning this match. By hook or by crook, yeah, Kevin could win. By the way, I'm not doing predictions here for you, man. I've done prediction pieces, and they are notoriously hard to do. I don't back down from the challenge, But man, I, along with a lot of other writers, have a really hard time calling this stuff. And honestly, I'm kind of glad for that. I'm kind of glad that I can't, always nail it 100% on predictions. I like to be surprised. I like swerves, man. I do. My dream situation for SummerSlam is that Brock versus Roman is before KO versus Strowman. Strowman cashes in. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of interruption there. Hopefully that didn't pick up. I don't have any idea. But what else are we talking about here, guys? So we have, I said the word guys. Do you ever watch like anything on YouTube, whether it's some little doofus hosting something and he says the word guys like 187 times? My 9-year-old watches a lot of YouTube. And a lot of these little morons that he watches likes to say the word guys all the time, and it makes me insane. So I'm going to try not to call you folks that. Folks, does folks work for you? It's good stuff. Someone said Miz versus Bryan. Let's just jump to Miz versus Bryan, shall we? Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. There's probably no feud on this entire card, with the exception of maybe Brock versus Roman, that has as much great background as Miz and Daniel Bryan does. They have laid the groundwork for this thing from day one. They've done flashbacks. They've done, constant video packages of, what came before, of when Miz was his veteran or his pro or whatever on the first NXT, all that nonsense. But they've really have taken this thing back to its roots. And if you believe anything that Daniel has said in interviews where he's not really in character, where Daniel's been like, yeah, we don't really like each other too much. Like, wow, there's some real life stuff here. And as we all know, the more real a feud is, the more real it feels, the better business it's going to do. I think we can all agree on that. And this is certainly going to be no different. How do you feel about who could possibly go over? A lot of people are already throwing their guesses out here to me. Daniel Bryan wins, says Jeanette. Miz, cause he's awesome. Nice. Throw the catchphrase in there. I can appreciate that. Bryan is stale. But is Bryan stale because it's Bryan, or is Bryan stale because since he came back, WWE just kind of didn't really do much for him? Let me put it to you this way. There are some guys, the aforementioned Dusty Rhodes, the aforementioned Nature Boy Ric Flair, who all they needed was a mic. All they needed was a mic and a ring. And that's all they needed. Get out of the way. But some guys, and this is no disrespect to Bryan, because if you've heard anything, and by the way, listen to Bryan's press recently for the Superstar Showcase on WWE 2K19. You got to go check out his interviews. Bryan is so much smarter than anyone's ever given him credit for. Even though I knew he was a smart guy, oh my God. Bryan isn't stale. The guy gets insane pops every week. Can't argue that. Can't argue that at all. I say he's stale because of this. The Bryan you see today is not the Daniel Bryan that was leading the Yes Movement when the crowd was 150% behind him. But WWE followed along with that too, right? I don't see them doing that. I kind of feel like they put the mic in his hand and said, all right, go on, talk. Go do it. And Bryan can pop the crowd, obviously, but at the same time, he needs something to fight against. That's why the feud with Big Cass could have been good. Don't hate. Follow me. Big Cass was bigger. He was braggadocious. He was cocky. Yeah, he had the size advantage, but he was green as grass compared to Daniel Bryan. And I think Bryan needs odds to fight against. I think you need Bryan against, the Authors of Pain in a 2-on-1, where it's like, oh my God, he's going to get killed, and then somehow he finds a way to fight back. That's where Daniel Bryan excels. And it doesn't mean Daniel can't be in charge of a match. He absolutely can. But when you're putting matching Daniel up with guys who are his body weight, maybe just a few inches taller than he is, I think it takes away some of the charm that he has as the underdog. Now, Tom, what are you saying? Does Daniel have to be booked against super heavyweights from now to the end of time? Absolutely not. It's not necessary, but I think you have sometimes need to revisit that. And if you're not going to revisit that, then you need to, at some point, re-examine his character and see what works for him in addition to the underdog facade. See what works for him and then go with it. And I think that Daniel will get his strength back after that. So, Miz and Mrs. sucks. Well, I can't say I disagree, but I can't say I agree either. I'm not a reality show fan. I'm just not. In my time, I think I've watched only a handful of reality shows. I'm not going to tell you what they are because, I got street cred to protect. But, yeah, man, reality shows are not my thing. I don't know. I can't really get into it. And it's not real. You guys know that, right? Everything you're seeing on Mrs. most of it's choreographed, and most of it's scripted anyway. I mean, come on. He's a pro wrestler. He is. She is. It's all nonsense anyway. Miz will win. Feud will carry on. If Miz wins, I don't know that there is a feud after that. I just don't. I don't see that there is. I think that Daniel's been wanting to shut him up for a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it's been. And no, Dave, I don't. And no, I don't, pal. No. So don't. I'm not even going to say it on my show. I'm not doing it, and you can't make me. I don't watch that garbage. Thank you very much. But yeah, I don't know if there is a feud if Miz wins at SummerSlam. That's just me talking. But Daniel's been waiting a long time to be able to shut him up. And if he doesn't shut him up, what's Daniel got after that? I'm not saying it's game over, but I'm talking about from a storyline character perspective. Daniel's not had a whole heck of a lot to hang his hat on in terms of quality wins, championship wins, wins in main event matches, accomplishments, accolades. But shutting The Miz up would be a good one, I think. Don't you? I think if Daniel wins, then the feud continues. Because The Miz could always say, I was tired, I didn't get enough sleep, you cheated, you took an unfair advantage, I didn't mean to slip, whatever it was. That's how the thing continues. Who ultimately wins in the end? Miz, I would say. And I think Daniel will be fine with that. But we're talking the end game. We're not, this is not Infinity War. We're not in the end game so far with Miz and Daniel Bryan. That's my 2 cents. No one's thrown anything out at me except the stuff we've already talked about. So you want to keep going down the line? Yes, Tom, let's do that. Awesome. How about the U.S. champion, the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy? Raise your hand if you think Randy Orton's not going to get involved in this one. I don't see any hands. Randy Orton is totally going to get involved in this match. Totally. I know all the stuff about WWE's investigating him because he decided to do some naughty things years ago because pro wrestling humor in a pro wrestling locker room can be crude, it can be obnoxious, and it can be disgusting. Trust me, I know. Randy is okay. With the exception of Jericho and Daniel Bryan, not many other guys right now that's active. You can't even say Cody. But there's only a couple of holdovers from that odd area around, the demise of the territory days, and like sort of the afterglow of that to WWE's complete domination. And Randy's one of those guys. It's a very odd time, which I don't think has been labeled. Maybe I'll come up with something. He is the Viper. He is the Legend Killer. Sorry, I'm reading. Can you read and talk at the same time? Sometimes I can't. I don't know, man. But, yeah, maybe I'll name that era. I don't know. But, yeah, Randy's going to get involved in this. By the way, more spoilers. If you're just tuning in, the AT&T Center has spoiled the whole SummerSlam card. If you don't want to know, don't go look. I don't like spoilers. I don't seek them out. What part of my assignment on another website was to write about them. So I did it. I'm not crazy about knowing spoilers, but it's okay. Like we said, card is always subject to change. Right? Randy's getting involved. I wouldn't be shocked if Randy prevented Jeff Hardy from winning the United States Championship. I mean, what else is going to happen, obviously? I like the chemistry between Randy and Nakamura because it's so bizarre and it's so off-putting. The way they just kind of stare a hole through each other. And you're like, what's going on here? This is oddly uncomfortable. It's almost like two alpha males who are like feeling each other out. Well, they call Orton the Predator, or the Viper, right? Legend Killer. Apex Predator. God, he's like Triple H, man. He's got all these nicknames. Jeez. But it's like watching two predators in the wild. The prey is laying there, and each one is like making the case for who gets to eat it. That's what it is, and I like it. It's different. I don't know that they've done something like this in a while, or that they've done anything like this ever. It's just a very odd pairing, but it's working. And I'm not saying they're going to be, it's the next tag team champions, Tom, Orton and Nakamura. I'm not saying that. But I don't think there's a chance that Jeff Hardy wins that title back at SummerSlam. That's just me talking. New Day tag at the pay-per-view. You know what? I can roll with that. Let's roll with that. SmackDown Tag Team Champions. We're skipping past a huge match, but we're going to get back to it. New Day. Bludgeon Brothers. There's two trains of thought here. One train of thought is they got no business taking the belts away from Harper and Rowan right now because they've not had them long enough. They've not nearly been established long enough as the dominant tag team, even though WWE's went out of their way to convince you of that. By the way, the Bludgeon Brothers were some guys on SmackDown that yours truly has been in locker rooms with. One of the guys is Crucifix. He was the guy in the singlet. And forgive me for not knowing the other two gentlemen's names. But they've been called up to work dark matches and work on TV in the past. As well as on 205 Live. Trent Weatherman, I believe is his last name. On TV, it was Trent Newman, and maybe Trent Newman is his actual last name. But in the Indies, he's Tracer X. And he worked Hideo Itami on 205 Live. So props to those guys, and congrats to them as well. Go watch that. And remember, support your local pro wrestling folks. You never know when those guys are going to be on the big leagues in virtually no time at all, especially when WWE signs talent. So go support your local pro wrestling. Take that as the theme of the show, if nothing else. You like that? Okay. Nice sound effect. We might have to edit that out. Plus, Tom almost broke his finger. That was fun stuff, right? So New Day. I don't know how much time you want to spend on this. I think the New Day wins the Tag Team Championships from the Bludgeon Brothers. Simply because it seems like the right idea to keep them on Harper and Rowan, which means WWE probably won't go that way. So that's just my take. I think a New Day wins the belts. One of the rumors going around, and take this with a grain of salt if you want to, was when they were on Raw, how long they could hold the tag team titles. But on SmackDown, it's number of tag team title victories they can have. So if that's true, and considering the New Day never seems to lose momentum ever, I think they win the gold at SummerSlam. People keep talking about Charlotte. Do I think New Day... All right, real quick. Do I think New Day will break up anytime soon? That's the question. From the moment the Shield showed up, everyone talked about, well, when's the Shield going to break up? Everyone believes that, Big E is going to be the standout star of the group. And man, is it hard to argue that. It's really hard to argue that. Because, Big E is so big. Right? And he's got that main event look about him. But I believe unless something... And here's what I think. Here's my take, and we'll move on to Charlotte's match. Okay, real quick. I don't think Big E needs a lot in order to get there. However, I do think that Xavier Woods needs a lot to get there. And Kofi might as well. So if you split up New Day on a Sunday, then that Tuesday, there needs to be something good for Xavier and Kofi. Because Big E's probably going to be all right. And it's not just because he's big, because he's good in the ring, he's entertaining on the mic, and he can captivate the crowd. I think all three of them can, honestly, in their own way. I just think they're so strong as a unit. They're just so strong. And to me, I have a real hard time splitting those three guys up. They've just done so incredibly well. And they're the longest running faction now in WWE history. Don't quote me on that. I believe so. The last time I checked, they were either right there or they had surpassed them. They've surpassed the Shield. They surpassed several other groups. The original incarnation of DX, they've surpassed. So yeah, they've, they're killing it. I don't see any reason to break them up. That's just my take. Charlotte Flair versus Carmella and Becky Lynch in a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. There again, folks, I don't know what you want here. I mean, if you're wanting Tom's pick, it's hard, man. It's hard. You know what I mean? Because the match could go either way. I don't think Carmella's been the best champ, and people talk about, well, Tom, the booking. And I'm the first guy to say the booking. But whereas with Daniel Bryan's booking, it's obvious that Daniel could make it happen, that Daniel is good enough to do whatever is asked of him, and that Bryan is very capable in the ring and can provide a 5-star match with anybody in the locker room, and I firmly believe all those things. I think part of the issue here is not necessarily Carmella's booking, but with Carmella herself. And they had Carmella cut that really odd promo on SmackDown a couple weeks back where it was obvious that she was working Becky just to attack her. And it was like, she's standing there talking about, I see the haters and I've worked really hard. And I'm like, do we always have to take what happens online and interject it into the storyline in that company? Because, man, they are obsessed with that. Mark says James Ellsworth comes back. Well, don't be surprised. So, look at it from Carmella's point of view. Carmella she got trained. She came up through the ranks. She worked in NXT. She did everything asked of her. She did everything necessary to get to the main roster. She gets to the main roster, and it's not quite the, bright and shining moment that maybe it could have been. I would have said early on that I was very surprised they didn't tie her to Enzo and Cass. But then considering what happened to Enzo and Cass, maybe that's a good thing. Right? I think the trio would have been red hot. Enzo and Cass were hot. I think they would have been red hot with Carmella with them. That's my 2 cents. But I think that she is suffering from what a lot of undercard wrestlers are suffering from because they're surrounded by big name main event talent. And I think Carmella is suffering from that as well. I think that's an issue. I really do think it's an issue. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. As I said before, I stick to my earlier prediction that's going to be Charlotte as SmackDown Women's Champion versus Ronda as Raw Women's Champion, main event WrestleMania 35. That's me. Now, do you make those title changes happen right now, or do you wait a couple months? Maybe you wait a couple months. Maybe wait till the end of the year. Maybe that's the right move. If you do, then that means Carmella's keeping the belt. I think Becky's earned another run. I think Becky deserves a run. Do I think Becky's going to win? I don't think Becky necessarily needs to win. I think the only one in this match that needs to win is Carmella. I think she needs the championship. All right, quick sidebar. Make a women's tag team championship. That's been the rumor for a while. They've got enough talent. But here's my issue. And I'm taking a ballpark guess. So you can go look it up if you want to. Or we can look it up right now, whatever you want to do here. It's fine. But let's ballpark it and say there's 10 women on Raw and 10 women on SmackDown. Well, do the math. If one of those women is champion and you've got at least one woman chasing her, that leaves 8 women. Now, if you do tag teams, are you going to do, 4 tag teams? Because 2 of those women are going to be champions. That leaves 6 women. This is not Scott Steiner math. Scott Hall math. What was the line? Scott Steiner, right? But that leaves 6 women. So 3 tag teams. I don't know if the math works. I'm totally open to the idea. But I don't know. I heard there's going to be a 4 horsemen versus 4 horsewomen at Survivor Series. I think it's too early. Mark, thanks for the comment. In my opinion, I think it's too early. Plenty of talent to bring up. Good point, Craig. There is. And maybe more on the way, yes. We can cover that at the end. Be patient. But, yeah, that's interesting. Interesting comment. I don't think that the other 2 will be ready by that time. And I'm not saying it's not possible. Dude, anything's possible, to be honest with you. Anything's possible in pro wrestling, especially in WWE. We've seen things happen in that company that we didn't think would ever happen. Ever. We didn't think we'd ever see Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart shake hands. We didn't think we'd ever see Goldberg come back. We didn't think Eric Bischoff was ever going to show up on Monday Night Raw. All these things. No, back in the day, we didn't think we'd ever see Paul Heyman on WWE television. Anything can happen, man. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's completely impossible. However, I will say that I think that the odds of it happening, I don't know, man. I think it's tough. I think it's tough, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a good one. I'm racking my brain trying to think about, how does this sound? I mean, you got Ronda Rousey, you got Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir. Excuse me if I'm butchering the last name. I got messages now from folks. That's nice. Thanks, guys, for talking. I'm trying to answer and talk about everything as much as I possibly can. So why not do other championships in the women's division? If we're so committed to the women's division as WWE says it is, and obviously it is, we're getting ready to have a first ever all-women's pay-per-view, right, called Evolution. Funny how they couldn't come up with a better name than that. A name they haven't already used ad nauseum for years in that company. I have no idea why. I don't have an answer to that. Sorry. Why not do a women's whatever title, if not Intercontinental, a women's something or other title, a women's television title? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? The first ever women's television championship. And every single week, as back in the days of the NWA, the territories, the TV champ is on TV. Wouldn't that be sweet? I'd buy that for $1. There's your RoboCop reference for the day, folks. Thumbs up. So, yeah, like I said, Carmella and Charlotte and Becky going away. Either way you want, I think Becky wins the title. If you need a prediction, there you are. I think Becky Lynch walks away as SmackDown Women's Champion. Now let's talk about the match. The match. The match of matches. The main event of main events. Drum roll. Drum roll, please. Anyone? Someone? Are you ready? Balor versus Corbin. Oh my God, it takes your breath away. You didn't know you were going to get any singing on the show, did you? I'm a multi-purpose entertainment machine. I'm really not. So Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. Not just Baron Corbin, Constable Baron Corbin. Because we had to be silly and name him after a British policeman. Oh, okay. Constable Baron Corbin. So, I intend to throw no hate toward Corbin, and especially not Balor, because I've been a Balor fan for a long time. Okay? This feud is going absolutely nowhere. I can't say any plainer than that. I don't think that this thing is going anywhere. As long as Corbin is a pseudo-authority figure, corporate authority figure, whatever you want to call him, he's the rat. He's Stephanie McMahon's rat on Monday Night Raw. As long as that is the case, he's got nothing to gain. Where's he going to go? Is this going to put him in title contention? No, I don't think. Finn Balor's not in title contention, really. What's this doing for Finn? Finn's not really doing anything. Will he become the Demon for SummerSlam? Or is it necessary? I don't think it's necessary. Just me talking. And plus, whenever he's been the Demon in the past, they've really hyped it up. Do I think that could be the end result of this thing? Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's what I'm saying to you. Let's say Baron wins at SummerSlam, and they're setting up for something bigger down the road. Isn't SummerSlam kind of the big thing? Isn't it kind of the big thing? Isn't it kind of the big midpoint of the year where it's like, you know, or a little bit past midpoint of the year where it's one of the WWE's biggest events? Wouldn't that be the night to bring the Demon back? I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're going to. Usually they announce it ahead of time. Let's say Corbin wins and just keeps provoking. Takes the low road, provokes, attacks him backstage, makes it look like someone else did it. Some kind of nonsense happened. Threatens Balor's career, threatens to end his career, threatens to fire him, whatever the case may be. Then it'll become a matter of, you don't know what you just did. You don't know what you just did, man. You just pushed a button that cannot be unpushed. You just opened a door that cannot be closed. You have pushed Finn Balor to his breaking point. And when Finn Balor gets to his breaking point, the Demon takes over. A lot of people can't stand Corbin. That's for sure. So think about this. Just imagine Corbin backstage running scared because he's terrified of the Demon. Wasn't so much scared of Finn. Made fun of Finn all the time. The Demon's another entity altogether. The Demon is terrifying because it takes a hold of Finn. It does something different to him that is It's beyond understanding. It gives him a motivation. It gives him otherworldly powers. It's pro wrestling, baby. Roll with it, okay? But it does something for him mentally that, Baron Corbin couldn't possibly understand. And I just imagine Baron being in the ring, bragging that he won at SummerSlam, and then all of a sudden the heartbeat, don't, remember, of the song? The lights go red in the arena, and then nothing happens. He doesn't come out. And then you can see the expression on Baron's face just drop from smug and confident to terrified. You're convincing me this is a spectacular idea. Thank you so much for that. Maybe I'll even write about it. You like that? Sweet. As of right now, here's where I am on it. If we're talking about that, then sure. Let's say Corbin wins at SummerSlam. Demon Balor is undefeated. Maybe. I thought he came back as the Demon against Joe in NXT and Joe beat him. Maybe I'm wrong. You very well could be right. If I'm wrong, so be it. So it won't be the first time, but I could have sworn that he'd come back as the Demon and Joe took him down. Maybe that's wrong. But did the Demon lose to Nakamura? Maybe it's Shinsuke I'm thinking about. Maybe so. But anyway, it's a great gimmick. It's an awesome gimmick. He had a lot more than that in New Japan. He had the Joker and he did Bane. He did a lot of other stuff. He's capable of doing a lot of other things, man. Yeah, see, Samoa Joe beat Demon Balor. There you go. So there it is. But you know who's going to talk about that if he comes in as the Demon against Corbin after SummerSlam? Nobody. No one's going to talk about it because it would kill the momentum. And you want Finn to have as much momentum as possible for the next match, which would be the blow-off match, which would be, Finn reaching into that crazy place he goes to paint himself up and become like this, creepy, crawly, Nightcrawler guy. So it'll be fun. Now you got me convinced it's a good idea. I say I'm all for it. Make it happen. We're getting down to the wire, man. We're getting down to the kickoff stuff. Who wants to walk with Elias? I know other writers in the game that I keep in touch with, that I'll have conversations with. Sometimes we'll talk about the stuff we're writing with each other. One of those writers is a big Elias fan. And I'm not an Elias fan, but I'm also not an Elias fan either. Does that make sense? Yeah, nobody. If I'm wrong, you folks tell me right now. Jordan coming back to... I don't know, Ryan. I don't know about Jason Jordan, brother. If that's who you're asking me about, I have no idea. Maybe. By the way, Jason Jordan never deserved all the hate people threw at them. Not you people. You people are good people. You're watching this show, and me, we're cool. Okay? But all those other people that threw hate at Jason Jordan and booed him for stuff because he showed up in shape and is a good-looking guy... Get over yourselves. My God in heaven. Jason Jordan is more athletic than probably a third of that locker room, and probably more competent in the ring than a third of that locker room as well. Which is tough because he's surrounded by main event guys and very athletic talents. For real. Okay? I'm just saying. But yeah, too much hate on Jordan. I'd love to see Jordan come back. Absolutely. Make it happen as soon as possible. Give him something to do this time that makes sense, okay? Besides just, I'm Kurt Angle's son. He's my daddy. Kurt should have had a shirt on that said, Jason, I'm your pappy. Dude, come on. Would that not have been epic? Sometimes I crack myself up. I would have paid to see that, man. You're right. People just wanted American Alpha. Absolutely right. And there was a way to bring American Alpha on board and gradually split them up if that's what you wanted to do versus, I don't know. Oh, it's just crazy. The whole idea of Jordan just suddenly, oh my God. It's just, and I get that they saw something in him very early on where they said, hey, we can do something with him. We can do this, we can do that. And it makes complete sense. But for it to just break like a bone, crack, boom, he's gone. And Chad Gable's sitting there going, "Excuse me, what the frig, man?" Right? It was in a natural split. Shouldn't have happened. So, how many times are we going to see Roman versus Brock? 143. There you have your answer. Don't laugh because, dude, we're like, what is this? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Dude, it's the never-ending feud, man. It's a never-ending feud, right? It's it's Dusty versus the Horseman, but not near as exciting and not as captivating. It just lasts forever, and fans are giving the Toriano where they go, I don't know, right? That's the thing, man. People don't want it to continue. And here's what happens when a majority, maybe I shouldn't say majority, when a good number of WWE fans want something, you know what Vince does? Middle finger. Because that's Vince. You guys have to know the company we're talking about here. 5 so far. Thank you, Jason. You have to know, see, the countdown's begun. We only got 138 left. I can do math. Shut up. But you have to know the company we're talking about, man. This company has never fully cared about everything you want. Everything you want. Stop. People get so upset. They get so upset. 8 years ago, when I began writing online, doing this, and loving every minute of it for the past 8 years, the first 2 years of my life doing this, I was so stressed. I was frustrated. I let it get in my head. I let it get to my heart. I let a lot of stuff get to me. Why does WWE continue to torture me? Dude, what? No, listen. You had to stop. Do this. Breathe in, breathe out. Compose yourself. Remember the company we're talking about. This company does not exist to make you happy. This company exists to make money. And they're going to make moves, for good or bad, for better or worse, that they believe is going to make them more money. Okay? That's what we're talking about here. So don't get too wrapped up in the particulars of that, man. Don't get too wrapped up in it. Just remember what the company we're talking about and take everything with a grain of salt. We were talking about Elias. Do you guys want to keep talking about Elias? Come on, you Elias fans out there. Let's hear it. Let's hear it from you. Elias to perform his greatest song at SummerSlam. Here's what I don't get. You got a heel that sits in the ring in a chair on a stool. Who wants to walk with Elias? And they say it with him, and then they cheer for him. And then he bags on them. He plays, they clap, they cheer for him, and then he bags on them. Okay? After a while, and plus he eats it up. He actually eats it up. He sits there and he acknowledges them. He smiles at them. All right, sounds good, you know. And then he takes a jab at them. This could only happen in the world of professional wrestling. Imagine going to like an open mic night and there's a guy on stage and he starts playing and people are clapping. Oh man, this guy's good. I like it. Let's sing along with him, all right? And then he's like, you people suck. I hate this town. What? Even the silliest, goofiest heel at some point over a period of time would eventually come out and say, someone just said it's hilarious. Okay, cool. That's cool. If that's your bag, man, sweet. But even the goofiest of heels would eventually say, you know what? You people like me for some reason. I don't know why, but that's kind of cool. Not this guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm not dialed in. Maybe I'm not woke when it comes to Elias. Is that what it is? Who wants to get woke with Elias? I don't know, man. So maybe I'm missing the point here somewhere. I don't have any idea. But I don't get the point of the whole deal. Usually we keep the show to an hour. We're going to wrap it up with the kickoff matches. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. WWE Cruiserweight Champion Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak in a kickoff match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. I think Drew Gulak wins. Could be wrong about that. I hate this didn't make it to the main show, but SummerSlam is jacked up full of main event matches. Rusev and Lana versus Andrade, Cien Almas, and Zelina Vega. I don't care about this match. No disrespect to anyone involved. I like all of them. It's not really pressing any hot buttons for me. That's just me talking. I'm not sure who's supposed to be heel and face. I know a lot of you folks out there say it doesn't matter, and that's cool if that's what you think, but I believe it still matters. I'm just saying. So, The Rock versus Elias, someone just said that. That seems like they're setting up to that. I have less interest of seeing The Rock versus Elias than I have of seeing Elias in the ring by himself ripping on fans. I have less desire to see both those things happen in my time. And again, it's nothing personal. I think Elias is doing what he can do. I think he's doing what's asked of him. He's doing what he can do, and he's doing the best he can. I'm not feeling it. And maybe that's a personal thing for me. I don't know. No disrespect to anybody, but I'm not feeling it at all. It's just me talking. I don't know who wins in the Rusev Lana and Almas Vega match. Not really sure. Probably Almas and Vega. They're still doing the Los Ingobernables thing because Cien Almas was a founding member in Mexico. We all know that Tetsuya Naito, if you know your New Japan, Tetsuya Naito is the leader of Los Ingobernables de Japón in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You know, Almas does the pose and everything, and he's on the ring aprons doing this, you know, or on the ring ropes, relaxing, right? So that's what that's coming from. Raw Tag Team Champions, the B Team. How's about that song? Is that song fun or what? No, it's not, is it? It's terrible. They're just trying to get the crowd to chant, right? B Team versus the Revival kickoff match. Still think this match could have been on the main card, maybe in a quick one, an 8-minute thing or whatever. I love the Revival. I shared a locker room with Dash Wilder. Great guy. Saw him as he was coming up in the business. Always a top talent. A good talent with a lot of potential. I think he and Dawson are a great tag team. I think that the comparisons to Arn and Ole, to Arn and Tully have always been there. And I think those are great. But there are certain points I feel like those comparisons have not allowed these guys to breathe and become their own team. So that's the show, folks, for SummerSlam. Let's get to some of this. Someone just mentioned NXT show. We didn't do an NXT episode. My apologies on that. For me to fit in the NXT stuff with the SummerSlam stuff, that would have been a really big shoe. Go look that up, kids out there, TV land, okay? Am I looking forward to All In? You bet your bananas I am, Danny. I don't know what that meant, but you bet. Yeah, of course I'm looking forward to All In, man. It's going to be good. And I got to be honest with you. I'm as much looking forward to Stephen Amell's part in that show as I am anything else because he's going to be taking on Christopher Daniels. Stephen, dude, if you are a fan of the DCCW shows, because I'm a comic book nerd, I'm a comic book guy, right? Can't help it. If you're a fan of those shows, man, you got to check out Arrow if you've not seen it. Stephen Amell is such a smart guy. A good athlete. Go back and look at the match that he worked against Cody Rhodes. It's a tag team match. Who did Stephen Amell partner with that night? Who can tell me who Stephen Amell partnered with? It's trivia. Don't Google it. I'll know you're Googling it if it takes you a long time. Who did Stephen Amell partner with? And who did they face? And when was it? Do I have to do it right now? Neville. Well done. Yes, did team with Neville. Because it was Green Arrow and Red Arrow. Is that how they were advertising it? I think. So, yeah, someone's still looking stuff up, I suppose. Hart Foundation for the WWE Hall of Fame Class 2019. I'd have to say absolutely. Absolutely. I'm all for that. By the way, condolences to the family of Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Terrible to hear. We've lost a lot of good guys in the past month. And it's a shame. Condolences to all our families. Don't get too wrapped up in how they passed. Don't get too wrapped up in that stuff. I see people racing to the internet to find out what killed someone. And I'm like, how many days did it take before China's death was officially ruled out as whatever it was ruled as? And I'm like, she's gone. Let her rest. Just move on. You know what I'm saying? That's just me talking. I love Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. A lot of people do. Making a lot of money for sure to be outside WWE. RIP Anvil. Well said. Can I do a show after NXT pay-per-view when it's over, please? On Sunday night? Interesting. I'm not going to say no. It'll be late. You guys going to be... No, that's Saturday night, isn't it? Ooh, Saturday night would be a bit tougher for the old man here. Anything's possible. It might be a bit tougher. I can't commit to that. But you know what? Keep check on the page, man. Maybe something can happen. We're bouncing all over here at the end, baby. Thoughts on new Ambrose look? He looks like Triple H. I find it funny that Ambrose didn't have the wild-eyed lunatic fringe look as he usually does. Oh, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have that. It was more gruff and stern, and that's cool. I can ride with that, but which leads me to believe that maybe his attitude won't be quite the same as it was before. He won't be quite as unhinged. It'll be more intense maybe this time, something like that. Ambrose is huge. Physically, he's cut, man. He got in shape for sure. Good for him. Some of us are trying to get in shape. You guys that may not have known me physically by looking at me and stuff for too awful long, but yours truly has lost 12 pounds in 3 weeks. I'm pretty proud of that. Believe it or not, I was down under 200 pounds several years ago, and I let myself balloon back up. I'm fairly heavy. Spent most of my adult life, most of my childhood actually, my dad was a big guy, so a lot of that stuff is genetic. Despite what anyone says, to the contrary, don't believe it. But I'm down 12 pounds right now, so someone tap some likes for that. Come on, give me some love here, people. Jeez, you boys trying. So... Heel turn for Ambrose. A lot of people are saying that. We talked about that in the show. Thank you very much. I think that that's possible. Sure. I don't know if it's going to happen at SummerSlam. I'm doubting it, but I could be wrong. I wrote that column on that very conjecture. We'll see. Thank you very much. Ambrose versus Elias. You know how you take a guy that's not really over all that much, or that's not really going where you want him to go, or maybe is falling flat? Put him with a guy that's red hot. So sure, I'd buy that as well. Ambrose versus Elias. Thank you, Lisa. How would you book the Money in the Bank with the main event situation at SummerSlam? I don't know. You stumped me. That's here's what I'll say to that, Eli. Great name, Eli. Thank you, Mark. Here's what I'll say to that, and it's kind of a cop-out. They've got so many options right now. People, every one of their brother thinks Roman's winning. Roman doesn't have to win. Well, Tom, this is Brock. This is it for Brock. You don't know that. This thing where he and Heyman, Heyman double-crossed Roman, baited him in and then hit him with what supposedly was mace. Nice job, by the way. We don't know that that's the end. That could be a major swerve to get you thinking that it's over and then Roman wins. Who knows? But then you got Braun with the Money in the Bank briefcase. There are options there, folks. There's options. That's what every pro wrestling company needs. And speaking of options, not to ignore questions, but you've heard, right? Tell me you've heard, the 35 of you watching. List 36 watching. Okay. 40, thank you. Again, people listening to this are going, what the hell? What's he on about? What's this? WWE is apparently, and the rumors are true if you've heard, don't know if you've heard, but I'm going to tell you now, okay? WWE is evidently planning to raid the locker rooms of both New Japan and Ring of Honor. Now take that with a grain of salt. Take that for what it's worth. But apparently they're going to take a real shot at it. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, all their contracts are up before the end of 2018. Which means they're up before the G1 Supercard on April 6th of next year at Madison Square Garden. Yikes. And we're not sure who all in New Japan that maybe WWE could be looking at right now. A lot of this is conjecture, but apparently they are talking about raiding the locker room. So I will say this, because I said this in a column that I published this morning for another website. Please feel free to look that up, if you will. I would greatly appreciate it. But here's what I'm thinking, where I'm coming down on that. If WWE has a plan for these guys and can bring them in and can do something really phenomenal with them, go with God. Have at it. But if the plan is just to sign them away from Ring of Honor and New Japan to cripple those companies, I don't like that at all. That hurts the business. The business has never been healthier and has never been in better shape, in my opinion, than it is right now. That's where I come down on that. What do I think about Kane? Kudos to Kane. Congrats on the new job as mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. Well done. After SummerSlam, I think Drew should get a run at the title. You're not going to find a lot of people that's going to disagree with that one. Drew's money. I hate that phrase. I hate that slogan, but man, is it true. McIntyre is money. Take that, Carmella. Mella's money, but maybe Mella's Monopoly money. Oh, did I say that? I'm not hating. Relax. Jeez, everyone take it easy, man. Nothing personal. I'm just making a haha, okay? Local podcaster makes a haha. Insults women. I'm not. Relax. I'm just saying. Yeah, I like the thoughts of Drew being on top. I think they need to take their time with it. What do I think about Impact Wrestling and the way they're doing it now? If I told you that I watched every single edition of Impact, I'd be lying through my teeth. However, I will tell you, I watch as much as I can. And lately, that's not been a whole lot. I keep up with a lot of wrestling, man, and it's tough. I think Impact has weathered the storm. That's what I think. I think Impact has weathered the storm. I think with Don Callis behind the scenes, they've improved, they've increased their chances of surviving into the future. I'm not predicting they will. I'm not saying they couldn't still go down at some point. But at the same time, I will say that they stand a better chance now than they ever have. And that's Tom's 2 cents. Oh my God, that should be part of the show. Tom's 2 cents. Is that too hokey? I don't know. We got to start wrapping this up, man. We're bleeding into an hour and a half. Hooey vey, that's a big show, baby. Couple of quick ones we're going to roll up out of here. NXT call-ups. The Undisputed Era can only last for so long as a unit. I think eventually they're going to go one or two of them, maybe the whole group. For the whole group to leave NXT, that's a big deal. Right, they got to get through this whole Aleister Black thing first to see who jumped who and whatever happened, supposedly. I love Velveteen Dream, and EC3 is doing much better than I would have anticipated. And I didn't hate EC3 at all, but I just saw him being very one-dimensional with the whole looking over his shoulder. Like go back and look at his stuff in Impact. There was one show where like the cameraman wasn't in the right position. You could see him get all flustered. He was just all mad. And he went back, got on the ramp, and then did it over his shoulder. Dude, it's not that important. Relax. It's one show, right? So I wasn't very high on his chances, but I think he's doing well. Him and Velveteen Dream have great chemistry together. Of course, Velveteen Dream probably have great chemistry with a steel chair as well. And get the chair over. I'm just saying. The guy has it. He has it. For real. And did anyone, thank you for mentioning the NXT call-ups. Trivia time. Not really, but here you go. Velveteen Dream was dressed up as Scott Hall in this past episode of NXT. Did everyone catch that? The jeans tucked into the black boots, the denim vest, and the fanny pack. That's Scott Hall. He just didn't have the toothpick. That was good stuff. I don't know if that was intentional. If it wasn't intentional, I'd be shocked that it wasn't intentional. That was fun stuff. EC3 for main roster. Yeah. Not right now, but yeah. Yeah. Because he could totally do it. I've seen him live working for, and I'd love to take the company's name, excuse me. That's what happens when you keep me up on the show too long. It's crazy. But I told you we only go an hour, man. But guess what? If it's live, it wasn't an accident. So I meant to do that. But EC3, I saw him, and I'd love to tell you the name of the company, but I can't because I don't remember. It wasn't too long ago I took my kid to see him. He's a natural. He's as natural in the ring as anybody I've ever seen. Eli, thanks, brother. You have a good day as well. Thanks for the stream. That's a great way to end the show. Usually I like to end the show with one big question that we can all sort of ponder. Maybe I won't do that this time unless someone hits me with something really good right about now. Give me something that we can leave the audience with, SummerSlam related. Give me something. Anybody. Give me something we can all dwell on and chew on in the next 2 days leading to SummerSlam on August 19th. And Impact's not it. Ember Moon versus Ronda. Okay, sure. You too, RJ. Thank you. So, all right. So by the way, I like Ember Moon and I like Ronda, obviously. Sure, I see that coming at some point. Why not? Biggest surprise at SummerSlam. We're going to end with biggest surprise at SummerSlam. Because I don't know what the answer is to that. Biggest surprise at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar retains Universal Championship. The headline on Monday morning. Brock Lesnar retains Universal Championship versus Roman Reigns. I'm not saying I'm predicting it. I'm saying, head for the hills, run and hide, because it could happen. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. One more time, just so you guys know me and know about the program, please go to iTunes. I'm doing this, please, for me. Go to iTunes, subscribe, leave a comment if you will. You can subscribe on Google Play. Check us out on iHeartRadio. The podcast will be available on YouTube probably by this evening, okay? So you can check it out there as well. Please, subscribing to us on iTunes means a whole heck of a lot. So if you could do that, we'd greatly appreciate it. You can see my work, a lot of my work, at boinkstudios.com. On that website, that's a production company I own with my partner Kyle Smith. Lifelong friends, which, by the way, we were going to do another show. We've got a show called Tom and Kyle's Comedy Action Hour, which, luckily for me, my wife doesn't mind if I stay up till 3 or 4 in the morning almost every night doing this nonsense. But it's fun nonsense, right? So go check out the shows. All the links you need to find are at boinkstudios.com. Wrestling Rumors, I'm there twice a week. We're here every Friday, 12 Eastern Standard Time, maybe a little later, okay? Sometimes it's 12:05. Don't shoot me. Life happens, baby. That's just how it is. But that's all we got for you today, man. Listen, everybody have a great day. Everybody have a great weekend. Everybody enjoy SummerSlam. Everybody enjoy NXT Saturday night. Just sit back and watch the wrestling. Remember, this is why we're fans, okay? All this content, back to back to back to back. This is why we're fans. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Kudos to you. Appreciate the love. Right back at you. Please come back next Friday. Show your support for the show. Leave some great comments. Hit that like button like crazy. Tell your friends, man. Tell your friends. Thank you very much, John. Much love, brother. All of you. We much appreciate it. And we will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.